any kid that I'm talking to that's coming in is like, dog, you just gotta be a dog, bro. Like, it ain't really no shortcut. Like, it's no secret to this shit. Like, you gotta be a dog, bro, because you're like already at a disadvantage walking in the door. And now they trying to take the point guards out completely. So it's like,
no.
You gotta be a super dog. You gotta be a super dog. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be incredible, fam. You gotta be incredible.
Welcome back to another episode of Point Game. I mean, this is going to be a jam-packed episode because we're obviously going to be talking March Madness. We're at the Final Four. We had some crazy stuff happen. I want to know what IT thinks of that. We'll also be talking some NBA, but most importantly, we're joined by one of IT's close friends, one of the best guards in the NBA right now, one-time NBA All-Star, NBA champion, Fred VanVleet is joining us later on the show. IT, I've been excited to talk to you ever since I saw what happened last night. UConn Duke. I don't think we can need to recap what happened, but one of the most legendary buzzer beaters. It's one that comes with I guess you feel for Duke. To be honest, I don't know if I'd ever say that sentence, but you felt for Duke, you felt for the Boozer brothers. What was your reaction in the moment seeing that, IT?
Oh, that hurt. Man, I don't feel for Duke at all. Like, I could give a damn about Duke. I really care about the players though. And that was just one of those situations where it was unfortunate that happens. And especially March Madness, that those type of things happen. But it's like, as I get older now and I'm like outside of those situations, I be feeling for the person because it's like they were so high and he was having such a great, not only great season, but really good game. They were in position to win, to go to the Final Four. And then like coaches always talk about like one or two possessions solidifying the win. And it was an unfortunate situation because I was a little frustrated. Like it seemed like nobody wanted to take the free throw. Like you were up. Like it wasn't down. It wasn't like the only thing UConn could do was foul. Like obviously they were going to play it out, see if they can get a trap or a deflection or steal like they did, but they're not even thinking they're going to get that. So like that was tough, fam. That hurt my heart. I was really watching it. And then to see the interviews after and the emotion, like, cause you see it, like they were on such a high and then that fast it turned for the worse. And it just unfortunate.
No, I mean, we can talk about for hours what they could have, should have done, but this is also the beauty of sports that anything can happen because, I mean, let's talk about it. Like he could have dribbled it out. They're playing, hot potato with it. The player could have just got sent to the line, any of those Duke players, but ultimately, the ball got stolen, and even we were talking about the Duke player, and I don't even want to say names because it's heartbreaking. Could have put a hand up, but it was a cold-blooded shot by UConn and Braylon Mullins.
Nah, all of that, the worst of the worst happened. Those are the things you go through in practice and you go through when you're watching film. Like you mention those things because obviously anything can happen, but you're never thinking that's going to happen. So it was an unfortunate situation. It's just tough, but like as a fan of the game, like you want moments like that. You watch TV and you watch these games for moments just like that because it got me out of my seat. I was in the house screaming. I don't even become a fan like that. And I remember my daughter saying, "You hurt my ears, Daddy." Like, what are you yelling so much? Cause it was really that crazy to see something like that. And you mentioned it, even the last shot, fam. The sophomore guard who's having an amazing year, he's probably going to the NBA, but you got to contest that, bro.
Yeah.
Like as a coach now that I coach a little bit and I watch film and I see those things, you're hurting at that too. Like we played to the end of the buzzer.
Yeah.
The only thing bro could have done was really shot the deep three. If he drove, time would have probably expired. You got to put a hand up, fam. Yeah. So all of those things hurt. In the worst way. Like even I told my wife today, I'm like, man, bro woke up and it still hurts. It hurts even more that you woke up because you you're thinking that's kind of a dream. You're thinking that's not real for how it played out. So like, and then all in all, on this show, we always show love. We ain't hating at all. So like, I'ma always like show love and support to the smaller Boozer. Cause that hurts. I mean, that hurts. Even like Carlos Boozer, like the dad, he has probably so much, the family has so many emotions. Like they were, the Cameron Boozer was playing an amazing game. They should have won going to the Final Four, and then that happened. But that's, like you said, that's sports for you. That's like really the definition of playing to the end of the buzzer, not giving up 19 throughout the game. Like all of those things that you talk about throughout the whole season really just unfolded and happened. But at the end of the day, it's going to make him a better player. It's going to make everybody in that situation better players, better people. Nobody wants to hear that right now at all. But like in the future, you're going to look back like that shit sucked, but like it molded me into a better player, and it's going to be, his career is going to be better for that, even though nobody's trying to hear that right now.
I did want to talk about Dan Hurley's reaction. If anyone saw it, that could honestly have cost them the game. We all know Dan is passionate, to say the least, but he like pushed his forehead into the ref's forehead. Like, was that smart, or is that, how was that excused?
That got to be his homie. I got it. Because if I'm John Shire, I'm over there. I'm talking to the NCAA. I'm doing something, fam, because you can't touch a ref. Like, obviously, we don't want to go into that. It wasn't nothing crazy, but I think that's the definition of who Dan Hurley is, bro. If you see his emotions, if you see his emotions, the whole last play, he went from chilling to being okay to being mad, and then to celebrating a big time shot. So that's who I am when I'm coaching, which is crazy, because when I'm watching UConn and seeing how crazy he looks, I'd be like, dang, I'm over there doing that on a freaking 8th grade AAU game, bro. I'm looking just like he is, because I'm just that passionate, and I love his coaching style, bro. I love it. But that incident was questionable, bro. And it's crazy because nobody's really speaking about it. Like, what usually happens when you touch a ref? It's usually a technical or some type of review. So I was surprised to even see him get that close, but he can't control his emotions, fam. He looking at the ref like, I know you see that.
That was wild.
I know you see what went down. So that was wild, fam. That was crazy.
I mean, it's just, he's like, I think it was that chaotic that kind of went forgotten. But man, Dan, that's calm Dan Hurley. Sometimes I'm like, that was calm for him. So maybe that's what it is. His reputation is a little crazier, but what else is he supposed to do? He's Dan Hurley.
Exactly.
Obviously, we got the Final Four coming up. We're going to keep talking about that as these teams continue to do crazy stuff. But when we come back from the break, we're going to talk to one of the other legendary smaller guards currently in the game, Fred VanVleet. All right, we're super excited over here at Point Game, welcoming NBA All-Star, NBA champ Fred VanVleet to the show. Fred, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to be on. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, family.
Now, IT's been talking about how you guys have known each other for a minute, not just through the league. So I'm curious, for all of our viewers out there, tell us the story of how you guys know each other.
Man, I think I met IT at CP3 camp. I was still in college at the time. Obviously, I followed him from the docs to YouTube. Watching all this stuff, as a smaller guard, him and Nate, Rob, and then having a chance to meet him at CP3 camp when I was in college. He was just very helpful, and definitely was bending his ear and asking him things here and there. And it's funny because I still got the DMs on my Twitter. Like, I reached out to him after, like, yo, man, like, what I got to do, this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? And he just gave me some real game, and something that, I'll never forget, but definitely was very, very helpful for me trying to figure it out. Cause you only know what you know what I'm saying? At that time, I ain't know nothing. So it was like, I'm trying to figure it out, find my way as an underdog. And IT was one of those guys I looked at that was like, all right, he kind of got to make something out of nothing too. You know what I mean? The odds is against him. So to watch him, first of all, without knowing him, and then to meet him and him be just super cool and helpful, that was big for me as a kid, for sure. A young kid trying to figure it out.
I think the dope thing about it as well is, like, obviously we talked through social media and things like that, but when we really sat down and met at CP's camp, I remember the particular moment they was doing the one-on-one tournament, and he's running through everybody. Like, this is the top dog. So it's like we related just because these are the top dogs, dudes at Duke, North Carolina, UConn, whatever you want to name it. And nobody was really showing him the love that he deserved. And I remember him running through every single one of the top dogs and winning it and, like, really talking his stuff the whole time. And that was like the definition of my career and what I was going through as well, is just being counted out, being against all odds, and to go to something so prestigious in Chris Paul camp where it's the top guards in the country, and him to come out on top on the one-on-one tournament says everything you need to know about Fred. So it was like from that day on, we just connected and we stayed close. And anytime he had a question, vice versa, it wasn't like I knew everything, but I was just a little older in terms of him following the footsteps. And, you know, he was a guy that was a student of the game. And I really, like, connected with him with that, because when you go to those settings, it's hard to get out of your shell, and it's hard to, like, put your pride aside and ask guys questions. But coming from where we come from, it's like you be in those situations where still to this day, I'm asking questions if I don't know the answer to it. I'm asking questions. I have no pride. And that was one of the coolest things that I seen from Fred from that day forward. Even when we got in the NBA and we battling, he might sneak a question in warm-ups. Like, man, how you do this? How you, like, so it was, like, always super cool to be able to, and Fred knows that to this day too as well. It's like, when guys, especially younger guys, seek out information, it makes it that much easier to be given it and you wanting to give it to the next guy. So, like I said, like meeting you since that day and then being, you know, talking on social media and then just building that relationship, that was super dope on my end too, because I seen where you was trying to go and I seen where you took it. And, like, we had the similar platform in terms of, like, the journey, and nobody counting on us, everybody counting us out. So, like, that was a good part in my journey as well, as getting to know a guy like Fred. So,
hell yeah, full circle moments, bro. I had a few, you know, since I've been in the league on my journey, and that was definitely one of them. That was, like, one of the first ones. I just remember you, CP, obviously, and then Irv. You know, at that time, it was like three guys that I stuck with, that was giving me the game that I needed. And they, like, I just remember when you was just talking about it, the one-on-one tournament, I was like the last seed. Like, it was like seeded like March Madness. Like, I was like a 16 seed. I'm like,
on
yo.
everything. Like, I remember you coming up to me like, fam, you see what they're doing to me? I'm like, nigga, just go kill him. Go kill him real quick. And really came out on top. So that's a core memory in my journey too. Just like seeing it, because I had memories like that growing up, whether it be in high school, college, or the pros, going to these same settings, and just having that sense of, like, you know, when people, like, show you love, but they're like, okay, he's good, but he's not that good. Like, that was the energy there. And then when it was all said and done, the energy flipped to where the same people that, you know, maybe shook his hand at the beginning was showing way more love at the end because he showed out and showed up. So that was super dope, fam. And that's how it is throughout the whole journey, though. Like, I try to tell people all the time, it's like the same people you see when you're in high school, college, or the pros, like, you see them throughout the journey, and they at times seem to switch up on how they treat you, whether you're doing good or not. And that's the good thing to understand and know as you go through the journey. Like, don't treat anybody wrong, first and foremost, because you never know what they can do for you throughout the journey. But just having that love and respect for the game and just, you know, pushing it forward, bro. And that's what it's all about.
Nah, real rap.
Just to even go back to that underdog and small guard, like we talk about it on the show a lot, like especially during the draft. Like now I'm learning that wasn't the first time you sort of been doubted. And I kind of went viral with this clip on Twitter because I was watching your vlogs and I saw that, you know, when your championship run with the Raptors, I was like, this dude went from not being drafted, had this party, and you got up in front of everyone and was like, it's cool. Like, this is just like the one hurdle and you overcame that. Like in that moment, how did you know to just like not be mad, like things were going to be okay? And then the journey in front of you, like what was sort of your mentality? Was that something that you had way before that? Or was that just like, there's another hurdle, I'll get over it. And it's moment by moment, you know, and then all the way up until you become a champion with the Raptors.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say now, but like, I feel like I always been like this, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta be who you are no matter what, you know what I mean? When it's good, when it's bad, when it's ugly. So, like, I always had that, and it's just that old saying, like, you know what I'm saying? It's in you, it's not on you. It's just like, it just is what it is. But you do get discouraged, you know what I'm saying? You do get in your feelings. You do feel like, you know what I'm saying, the odds is against you. It's politics. Like, you gotta go through all of that. But like IT was saying, the main thing for me was I was seeing all of the top guys in my class. And in the class ahead of me and the class below me, like I played against everybody. So I know I was good enough. It was just like, was I going to get my opportunity? So I always prided myself on working and being a worker. And it was like, yo, if I could just, I'm already good as these guys right now. They just don't see it yet. But like, if I can continue to keep working while nobody paying attention, by the time I get my moment, they're going to be like, damn, who is this? Whole time I've been here the whole time. Y'all just ain't really been paying attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I knew how to kind of just stay down, you know what I mean, until I come up and like wait for my moment, really, like, and just be patient. And, yeah, but I definitely get discouraged. I still get discouraged. I got discouraged then, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you can't let that affect your process. So my process never changed, and I just stayed with it the whole time.
I got one for you, Fred. So we talk about small guards all the time on the show because that's something like obviously we deal with all the time.
Yeah.
And how often they're overlooked, especially in today's game as the small guards getting pushed out because the game is just changing. And that's how it is throughout different eras and times throughout time. But like, what's your mentality on giving game to a small guard that's trying to make it? Cause like I'm in the AAU scene now. So I always see kids and their parents are always asking me, what does it take? And it's a complicated thing, especially in today's game. But like, what are your thoughts on giving game to a smaller guard, like giving the sweet, honest truth on what it takes to get there, what it takes to stay in the league, and what are the things you got to just overcome and like the not necessarily the things you got to overcome. What do you have to do to even get looked at nowadays while being 6 foot and under? Because as you know, it's just a bigger man's game in today's game, and they're not giving the same respect. Obviously, they didn't even give us the respect to keep it 100. Right. But fighting through those things, what type of game do you give up and coming guy that's, you know, trying to be the next Fred, trying to be the next small guard to push the game forward in today's game, which is damn near impossible to do?
I always break it down into two parts because I think the first part is more important, where it's like, I don't think people, the kids, the guys or the parents understand how good you really got to be. Like, you already at a disadvantage walking in the door before you even tie your shoes up. So it's like, people don't know how good Isaiah Thomas was. People don't know how good Nate Robinson was. Like, people don't know how incredible of a player you have to be to just overcome those odds first. But they look at the end goal and be like, all right, I want to be like IT when he averaged 30 for Boston. It's like, yo, it's a whole lot of other career. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a build up to that. And it's like, oh, I seen Fred hit big shots in a game 6 to win a ring. And it's like, nah, y'all didn't see how I came in though. Like, man, I didn't play my rookie year. I had to figure it out. Like, my first challenge was, can you guard? You know what I'm saying? Can you get on the floor? Okay, now you get on the floor. Can you shoot? I couldn't shoot. All I could do is shoot corner threes. I couldn't shoot above the break. It was like step by step. So I try to make sure I communicate that, and then I'll give them the actual shit they can do. You got to be able to shoot you got to be able to shoot the three, like really shoot the three. and you got to be able to be disruptive on defense. Like, you don't have to be a stopper. You don't have to be a lockdown defender, but you got to be disruptive enough to be like a plus. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because your offense obviously is going to keep you on the floor, but your defense is going to get you on the floor. And I try to stress that. So like, yo, if nobody know who you is, yo, you got to pick up. You got to pick up full
every
court.
Time.
Because if you wait till we get down here, not everybody's switching. Like, you gonna get rolled under the rim. You might as well start that fight down here. You know what I mean? And just pick up and be disruptive. And I think the three is the separator right now for sure, because of the way we playing, and like, you don't really get to play against drops anymore, like certain coverages where you can manipulate the defense and play pick and roll. Like, everybody's switching because everybody the same size. So you got to be able to space the floor and shoot the three to stay on the court. So me personally, I'm built a little bit bigger, so like I can hold up a little bit on defense. But like any kid that I'm talking to that's coming in is like, dog, you just got to be a dog, bro. Like, it ain't really no shortcut. Like, it's no secret to this shit. Like, you got to be a dog, bro, because you're like already at a disadvantage walking in the door, and now they trying to take the point guards out completely. So it's like,
no,
you got to be a super dog. You got to be a super dog. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be incredible, fam.
They'll rather just give it to a tall guy that can dribble a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That don't even know nothing about being a guard for real, but he's tall enough and can dribble, and that's like the new point guard now.
For sure, man. That's good insight, bro. That's because I always be trying to game, especially parents, now that I talk to parents a little more now, because like you said, they don't understand it. They don't understand how hard the journey's going to be. Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's almost impossible, but like, you got guys to critique that and look at that and build off that. But it's like, if you don't do the needs of being a small guard, and that's picking up, being disruptive, and being able to shoot the three like on a consistent basis, you don't really got a chance. And it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of nights where, you know, you're discouraged. Like you said early on, like I always tell people as well, like, I didn't have this ultimate poise at all times. Like, I didn't feel this comfortable at all times. It took every step of the journey to be able to get to this spot where I'm walking indoors and making sure it's known that I am who I am. So it's levels to it, man. But it's always good to hear from another, you know, undersized guard that's doing it, that's playing 10 plus years in the league, that's win championships and being all-stars, because the people don't understand how difficult that thing really is on a day-to-day basis. And that's dope to get the insight from somebody who's in there and who's one of the best to ever do it as being an undersized guard. So appreciate that. Study
any guys listening, because I know they still definitely listen to you and admire your journey. But like, watch that film, bro. Watch that film and get in that lab. And you gotta go from there. You know what I mean? Like, I could tell you how many nights I just watch film. Like, even now it's easy. You could just YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even gotta have like a synergy or nothing. You can just watch YouTube. Like, really study how guys get in their game off and apply it. You know what I'm saying? Where you see fit. But a lot of these guys be wanting some magic recipe shortcut or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It don't exist, bro.
It don't. You don't.
Looking ahead here, Fred, because I'll speak for all NBA fans. I'm devastated we haven't gotten to see you and KD on the court together yet, and what that's going to look like. Obviously, you know, but like, looking at this Rockets team, you guys are only a few games out of third place without you. So like, what are some things that you're looking at that you're excited about that you can make an impact when you get back on that court probably next season, right? Like, what's something that you've been excited about?
Man, just putting guys in their spots, like. And that's something that I can do with my eyes closed, just like making the game easier. You know what I mean? Getting the guys the ball, putting them in position to be successful. Because it's like, without me and without Steven this year, everybody just kind of out of position a little bit. Even if it's just like one slot, you know what I'm saying? It's like KD working way too hard to get to his spot. You know what I'm saying? Big fella got so many more responsibilities that I would normally be having. You know what I mean? We taking him from what he's special at and asking him to be a point guard this year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Me being out there with Reed Shepherd, like, it's a lot that I would just alleviate or help, you know? So I'm more so looking at it from that standpoint, but I'm proud of the guys, and it's actually a blessing in disguise, because so many of the young guys is getting opportunity that, you know what I mean, way more opportunity. And so I always tell them all the time, like, shit, I wish, and I would never wish for nobody to be hurt, but as a first, second, third year guy, that I was just be thrown into the mix. All right, you getting 30, 35 minutes a night now, 10, 15, 20 shots, you know what I mean? So I'm telling them, like, yo, y'all better take advantage of this. Like, this is a incredible opportunity, and I think that they've done a good job. So we got to make sure we keep, you know, the fabric of, like, what keeps our team and our culture together. And then once we put all the pieces back together, I think we got a real shot.
So I got one question to piggyback off that. With you playing with Kawhi, obviously winning the championship, and then being around K every day and seeing, you know, his work ethic, do those two guys have similarities in how great they are in terms of being a teammate, being offensive threats, being who they are? Do they got any type of similarities in that? Like, I haven't been around the two at the same time, or I played with K for a little bit, but are there similarities? Are they similar in some aspects? Are they different? I would love to hear the breakdown coming from somebody who's around those guys every day.
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't been out there, but like just having a front row seat, I feel like they're very different people. Mm-hmm. But like the greatness is taken for granted. Like we just played Pelicans or somebody, and it's like K just going through the game, he doing his thing, you know what I'm saying, he might get a free throw, like, and then you look up and it's like, bro, he like 24, and I'm like, when did this happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I know how hard it is for me to get 24. Like, I'm working hard to get 24. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, he don't miss, bro. Like, he doesn't miss. Like, you're surprised when he missed. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the greatness of that, and Kawhi used to be like that, because Kawhi was a little more rigid and like methodical to the approach, but like even though he'll be like 3 for 9 or something, or 3 for 8, you know, playing team defense, passing the ball, and then the fourth quarter come and he'll just make like 6 pull-up jumpers going right in a row, and you look up, he got like 28, and I'm like, damn. Like it's levels, like it's just levels, bro. And I'm just grateful to be able to see it. And obviously I wish I was out there with K, but like the level of scoring and the impact and the attention that they take up on the court, that space that they take up, the kids that's checking into the game that get to guard them is like, like, you know, like this they moment, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they either starstruck or like they fouling them all crazy because they just overly excited. So the personality and the people are very different, but like the impact and the greatness is very, very similar on a daily basis, because it's just like, it's so good that you just get used to it. Like you just get numb to it. Like you look up, and you know what I'm saying? It's 26, 27 on like 50, 40, 90, like, bro. And that just sound crazy. It just sound regular when you talking about KD, but that shit's not regular, bro. Like
at all. And I think the world takes it for granted too. Yeah.
We take it for granted.
And it's tough because, like you said, you'll look up and he's 12 or 17. You're like, this, on like jumpers. How he plays on jumpers, how he plays is really how he trains. He's not missing. It don't matter who's guarding him. So I always wondered that, especially about Kawhi as well, like just being a fan of the game outside of being a competitor against him and him being one of our peers. But like, I always wondered what their similarities was when it comes to that. Cause greatness is always similar. Like it could be different in terms of, like you said, personality, how they go about it. But the end goal is kind of always the same in terms of their work ethic, their routine each and every day, how they are to their teammates. And like you said, like the world takes those type of things for granted. So I always, especially on this show, we always try to critique those things, but also give that love and respect that these guys earn, because that's what it's really about. So
yeah, and that's like that's the crazy part about the game too, because you graded them inside of the game that they playing. So like if we lose or if we don't win a championship, then it's like that's a angle to discredit them. But if you just peel back the basketball, you just using your eyes, it's like, bro, this is. I mean, my first week, I'm like, yo, how is this guy not the greatest ever to play basketball? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for real though.
This is what my mind. And then I'm like, all right, hold on. I'm like, hold on. Like, I like Cole. You know what I'm saying? You got Mike. You got Brian. Like, but it made me think. I'm like, yo, bro. Like, I don't know. This got to be the best shit I ever seen. But I felt that same way when I watched Kawhi too. Mm-hmm. It's like that lets you know the level that they at. Like, that's the level. Sure. That's the room they in.
That's funny, man. That's real though. That's a good way to think about it. Cause anytime you see those greats, it questions you. Like, how isn't that guy the greatest, man? It doesn't seem like I could see no better, but I feel you on that, fam.
Fred, I got one more here. Obviously, you've made a crazy run in the, March Madness a while back, Wichita State, undefeated. So I did want to ask you, because it just happened last night, and it's been my favorite thing to talk about. I think we all saw it. The buzzer beater from Braylon Mullins at UConn. And I think what we're talking about more, incredible shot, but honestly, the Boozer twins and I think it would help seeing future hoopers out there, even Cayden, if he saw this, like, how do you deal with something like that? So heartbreaking after all the hard work that you can't forget. But how do you deal with a moment like that in basketball, which the whole world just witnessed?
Man, it's going to be a long summer, man. It's going to be a long summer, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just understand you got more basketball to play, and like whatever moment that meant to you, like your best is on the other side of that, So it's like, I feel for him. I'm more so focused on, the guy that made the shot, like, because you have to give yourself grace too. Like, you know what I'm saying? What a just an incredible play that was made on the other end.
Yeah.
Defense and a shot.
Yeah, it wasn't like he dribbled off his foot or like he did some careless shit. Like, he was trying to get rid of it, and the guy just made a crazy play, and the kid made a 40-footer swish at the buzzer, bro. Like, that's
cold.
That's March Madness, bro. Like, it's nothing like it. And it's I've been through it. I've been through the highs and the lows, but you just gotta pick yourself back up. And I don't know. I haven't watched that much. So I don't know if he gonna come back or whatever. I know the other brother is supposed to be a lottery pick, but yes, you just give you something to. I like to either take screenshots or snapshots of all right, you know what I'm saying? Everybody piling on me right now. They killing them because he threw the game away. So I'm going to just use that as my whole summer. I'm going to just use that. My whole summer, that's going to be in my mind. Like, I can't wait to get back out there.
Every time.
You just got to bounce back.
That's the toughest part. Like, at the end of the day, he was 18, 19. Social media era is crazy. So you might have to deactivate that for a little bit. Get your mind right. Get around people who really, truly care about you. Cause these are one of them moments where it hurts. It hurts. But like you said, the best basketball is ahead of you. You use this as motivation. This should be something for me, if that happened to me, I might have the picture up in my room the whole summer of something that can just motivate me and change the script around, because it does hurt. And then everywhere you go, you feel like they talking about the turnover and all those things. But the thing about it, we said before we got on, that's the game of basketball for you. That's obviously the worst case scenario, but down the line of the history of basketball, that's happened so much, bro. That's happened so much. So you got to just use that as motivation and find ways to move forward, even though, it's a tough moment.
Man, put that phone down. And
all of that.
That's the thing about the March Madness is in the NBA, you would probably have another game to wash it away. You know what I'm saying? In a day or two.
Tomorrow.
This kid, he got to wait till next year.
Damn.
But
tough.
If you turn that phone off and you wait a week, it's gonna be somebody else's turn next week. That's gonna fuck up. They gonna fuck up in the Final Four, and then it's gonna be on them, and we can move on. So I would love to see him bounce back and just make a career out of it. You know what I'm saying? Make a nice career for himself, and not let that moment be the end all be all. Man, nobody gonna remember that shit in 10 years
at all.
Well, Fred, we're over time here. We appreciate you. Parting words here. What you got in store? Obviously, next season we'll see you back on court. But how you spend your summer?
Man, I'm working. I'm getting back to it. This is going to be the first year that my summer's kind of flipped, right? So as soon as this season's over, I'm going to be looking for I'm going to be looking for some runs. I haven't had much on court time. So my front of my summer will be a little bit heavier this year, but, be on the lookout. We're doing the pod now. It's been cool. I've been watching y'all stuff, so I'm new in that space. I'm just keeping myself busy, and looking forward to me getting back out there. The best version that you've seen yet. It's on the way.
Right. That's dope. You can always come to Seattle for a few days. We could get in the gym. Like old times. I know you haven't been to Seattle. The weather's nice in the summertime, so I need to get all we need is like 2 or 3 days. Get in the gym, vibe out a little bit, get you right back to Houston, baby.
I need to get out there, brother.
Come on,
say that.
Always appreciate you, fam.
For sure.
Check out Unguarded, everybody. Point Game fans, check out Unguarded for all everything, Fred.
Subscribe, tap in. You know what it is, bro. Appreciate you. Stay on your slow grind.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
always,
y'all, brother.
Thank you.
All right, we're back here on Point Game. That was dope getting to chop it up with you and Fred. I mean, that's crazy. I didn't know it went way back like that.
Yeah.
That's, it's like
2012, I think. It was like 2012, 2013. So I've been along the journey with him, man. It's crazy because some people that watch my oldest son play, I should have said this when we was chopping it up with him, fam. But they compare my oldest son to him.
Really?
In terms of his game and how smooth he is, how, he goes at his own pace, really good, strong defender who can hit the open three. I try not to hype my son like that, but there's been a few little basketball heads around my way that's mentioned that. So I should have said that. So shout out to, Fred. Shout out to my son, James, following the footsteps of a legend.
But that's like, we've talked about it before. It's the cycle of things. Like way back when you were giving him advice, that free knowledge, and he's inspiring your son's game. Like it all just comes around, and it really is. Anyone in any profession, it's like, keep that knowledge, keep spreading that knowledge and that information. Cause you never know how to come back to you. Like Fred, he quickly came on the show. So people outside the business know like that's a process, but he was like, yeah, whatever, I'm coming on. So that was dope.
That's the love that they got for us, fam. That starts with you, bruh.
Well, so we're going to continue that as we do on this show, a little segment called No Days Off, where we spread the love to some players who might not be getting the shine we think that they deserve. So who we got for No Days Off this episode?
No Days Off. We're going to go with our guy on the Chicago Bulls, Matas Buzelis.
Yep.
One of my favorite young up-and-coming stars in the league. Shout out to Reebok too, just cause, I was a Reebok family member, started my career out, and he's on Reebok. And also I got to chop it up with him after he got drafted a couple summers ago. And he was a big fan of mine. So, I'm going to give the love back, show my support back every week that I'm on NBA TV or the podcast. We're shouting him out because he's dunking on somebody weekly.
God. Crazy.
He's a human highlight film. So our No Days Off goes out to Matas Buzelis. Keep doing your thing. End the season strong. You never know. I got IT Training Skills Academy out in Seattle. Already tried to get Fred. You might as well come out, summertime. All we need is 2 to 3 days. I'll get all the skills right, bro. Come and tap in. Because the Sonics is coming back, so you might as well visit before you come out there in a couple years.
Man, Reebok is looking. I might buy stock in Reebok, man. They got Acuff in the last week. They have Matas on there. They're making big moves. They're making big moves.
Man. Shout out to all the shoe companies, bro. But Reebok is under the radar.
Yes, sir. All right. IT, another great episode. We're still in the heat of basketball right now. Final Four coming up, playoffs ahead. Any parting words you want to give to the fans checking out Point Game right now?
It's the best time of basketball. We're going to be talking the best type of hoop. So tap in, subscribe, give us some comments, whatever you want to chop it up about. This is the best time to be a basketball fan. So we got to give you what you want.
Yes, sir. All right. Appreciate you all. We'll see you next time on Point Game.